Hi everyone, welcome back to another video here at Greenland Garden Centre. My name is Aron, one of the managers here at Greenland, and today we are in our beautiful botanic garden and we're here to talk about everybody's lawn nemesis, weeds. So yeah, we're going to give you some cultural ideas how to prevent weeds from starting to begin with. If you do have weeds, we're going to go over a few ways to get rid of them. We have some non-chemical ways and we also have some chemical controls, both eco-friendly and chemical-based. So yeah, stick with us, enjoy this video, and hopefully you learn something from all this. So nobody likes to talk about it, but everybody deals with it. We have weeds in our lawn. Even here at Greenland, we do a good job of taking care of our gardens, taking care of our lawn. We have a full-time gardener on staff. We still get weeds creeping up in our lawn. Just kind of a fact of life when you have a lawn. How can you prevent a lot of that from happening? Making sure your lawn is thick and healthy. That will prevent a lot of weeds from coming in. How do weeds come in? They blow in with the wind, bird droppings, all these different ways of coming into your lawn. If your lawn is thick and healthy, it's not only going to shade those seeds from germinating. If you have a thick, healthy, nice lawn, you know, those weed seeds can't get any sunlight, they're not going to germinate. Also, if you have a thick, nice, healthy lawn, they're not going to have a spot to germinate. They need bare soil to germinate. So if you have a dog at home, or maybe you had some winter injury, maybe you have salt that you use and you get a kind of a dead patch along the driveway, that's prime area for weeds to come in. Anywhere where there's a bare spot and where the soil is not so great, weeds don't care. Lawn really wants perfect soil, nice soil, good fertile soil to grow. If there's any salt in there, it's not going to do well. Weeds, they don't care. Any prime real estate, any open spot, they'll take it and go with it. So what can you do? How can you keep your lawn healthy? A couple easy ways to do it. First one I'm going to say is fertilize. A lot of people will follow that program of fertilizing just a few times a year. We here at Greenland kind of disagree with that. It's better to get into a regular habit of fertilizing. I personally fertilize probably every 4 to 6 weeks my lawn, and I would encourage you to do the same. Start with a spring starter fertilizer, move on to a summer fertilizer, and then a fall fertilizer. So you're going to be fertilizing more often, your grass is going to be growing a lot faster. You go, well, that's not good, I have to mow more often, but that is a good thing. The more you mow, so if you can mow every 4 to 5 days rather than just once a week, you're going to find that as you're cutting those tips of the grass off, the grass goes, oh, I can't grow up anymore, I have to grow sideways. So they tend to spread and fill in the areas, especially the grasses we grow here. We grow red fescue, we grow Kentucky bluegrass. Those are creeping grasses. They spread to fill in bare areas. They want to spread. So the more you can mow, if you can get out there every 4 days and take just a little bit off every time you mow, you're going to find your lawn a lot thicker, a lot healthier, and a lot more likely to resist weeds. The other thing we'll talk about, so you got your fertilizing, you have your mowing, is just watering. You know, we've had some years very wet, some years very dry. Keep in mind you want about 1 inch of water per week on your lawn. If we don't have a lot of rain in a week, you want to get out there and put some water on the lawn. That will help, again, keep it healthy, keep it actively growing, keep it filling in those spots and preventing spots from weeds, spots for weeds. One product I'm going to touch on here quickly before we kind of get into how to remove the weeds would be, how can I thicken up my lawn? Say I have a dog with some dead spots, say I have some bare areas that just died over winter, what can I do? You can use something like this. This is Revive and Thrive. We package it specifically for us. The reason being is we know the grass seed here works. This is hardy grass seed that we grow in our yards. We know it's going to work, so that's why we package it in here. It comes with dehydrated compost, some organic fertilizer. All you're doing is just roughing up those bare areas. You don't ever want to put this on top of just dead brown grass. That's not going to do a whole lot. You want to scratch up those bare areas, sprinkle this on, keep it watered every day, and then you'll have grass growing there. If you have grass growing in a spot, weeds are less likely to grow in that area. So yeah, cultural things, fertilize often, 4 to 6 weeks, mow every 4 days or so. Inch of rain or water per week, fill in your bare areas, and that's kind of step one of getting rid of those weeds or stopping those weeds from even starting in your lawn. So you're doing those cultural things, you're getting out there, you're getting that lawn thick, you're getting a healthy lawn. What do you do when a weed props up? There's a couple things you can do. You can go to the chemical option, and we'll talk about that soon. The other option you can do is the manual removal option. This is good for people that may not have a large yard. Maybe they have some pets or kids and they're just leery of using any chemical in the lawn. This works great, and there's a couple of tools I'm going to show you. These aren't the only tools you can use. These are just some things that we've found work very well for us and we use in our gardens. First one I'm going to talk about, the most basic dandelion digger that you can get. Has these prongs on it, 2 prongs, long shaft on it. What you're doing, and I'll show you, we don't have a weed in front of us, but I'll kind of give you a quick demo, You're going right next to your weed, pushing it in about halfway, and all you're doing is rocking it back. You might have to go a couple different angles on it, rock it back. What you're trying to do is in between these two prongs, you're trying to catch that taproot, especially for dandelions. They have that long carrot-like root. You're trying to catch that taproot in between the prongs, prop it up, you'll hear a click. That allows you to pull that weed out completely. So if you're okay with getting down into the garden and getting on your hands and knees and going at it, that would work just fine. Just a standard dandelion digger. If you have maybe some mobility issues, maybe you don't want to bend over, you don't want to be bent over in the garden, simple telescoping weeder, same idea with the prongs on it. All you're doing with this, instead of bending over, you're standing up, pushing it in next to the weed, propping it up again, popping that root, and then bending over, picking it up. Or if you have a whole field that you're doing, if you're doing multiple, you can pop all these weeds up, take a rake it all up into a nice pile, and you're good to go. One thing I'll mention, I guess, before going into these this style here, any of these kind of prong styles, is you want your ground to be relatively soft. We deal with a lot of clay in our area, so if you can wait till after a rain, the day after a rain, or maybe it rains really heavily in the morning, that evening, get out there and do it. The ground's a lot softer, you're a lot more likely to pull the entire root, and really that's what our goal is with these manual removals. You want to pull the entire root out. If you leave a piece of the root, chances are that weed is going to grow back. It won't be as big, as strong, as healthy as it was, but it will grow back. So if you can get the entire root of the weed, that's great. One other tool I'll show you, this is a heavy duty one, can be used in the lawn or just in a regular garden bed as well. It's called the Weed Slayer. It's got a really strong name to it, so it better work, right? What you do is you push it in the center of the weed, you aim for the center of the weed, snap down, and then all you're doing is giving a half turn towards you, and then picking it up. It's gonna remove the weed and a chunk of soil, and it has a little plunger here. You're just pushing that plunger to eject that. So again, do this when the ground is soft, when it's rained, and you'll do a good job of fully removing that weed. So what do you do once you remove those weeds? Again, go to something like Revive and Thrive, or if you have a large area, buy a bag of grass seed, buy some topsoil, sprinkle that seed on those bare areas, put the topsoil on top, and then water it just to fill in those bare areas. Again, if you're pulling a lot of weeds, you're leaving a lot of open room. Either grass is going to fill it in or weeds are going to fill it back in. So your choice on that one, right? So from the manual removal option, say you have a really large yard, or say you can't get down and do it, or it's just out of control and you really need to do something to control those weeds in a hurry, is the chemical option. So we have two varieties here. We have the traditional chemical base. We also have the more eco-friendly options. So two recent kind of additions to the market would be alternatives to the traditional weed killing herbicides. The first one we're going to talk about is Weed B Gon. So Weed B Gon is iron based. So lawns like iron. It's in, all your lawn fertilizers will have some iron in it. If your lawn is not quite dark and green like you want it to be, the solution to that usually is to add some iron. So Weed B Gon is based on iron. Your lawn can tolerate iron, weeds cannot tolerate iron. So what you're doing is you're actually spraying this on the broadleaf weeds that you have in your lawn. It won't do damage to the grass, but it will do damage to the broadleaves. They absorb too much iron because their leaves are so big. It basically causes oxidation, causes them to turn black, cause them to shrivel and die. With these eco-friendly ones, they don't tend to do a good job of killing the root the first time, so you may have to get out there about 3 weeks later and do it again, but they will definitely burn the tops down and get rid of those visible weeds for you. So that's the iron-based one, Weed B Gon. The other one we're going to talk about is called Weed Out Ultra. So Weed Out Ultra is based on a hormone they found in a pea seed, believe it or not, like a garden pea. What they found is that when garden peas mature, they send a hormone back to the mother plant to kill it off so that they have more energy put into the seeds, right? They took that hormone and they put it into a man-made version of a herbicide. So how this works is, again, you're spraying the leaves, you're wetting the leaves thoroughly. And in general, if you're looking to spray, when do you spray? How do you spray? What are you doing? So we'll kind of give a quick rundown on that. The ideal time to spray would be something like now. You want the lawn to be dry, you want the sun to be on the lawn, and you want the temperatures to be quite warm. You want it to be above about 22 degrees, but you don't want it to be too hot to the point of 30 degrees. It really needs to be, 22 to 28 degrees. That's the range, ideal range. maybe wait till late afternoon, 2 or 3 in the afternoon when the lawn is really warm and those weeds are really thirsty. What you're doing then is you're actually using the spray, and I'm going to show you a quick demo here. Using the spray, you're finding a weed, and I'll try to find a little patch of weeds over here if Ty can follow me. And what you're doing is you're just wrong setting there. You're just misting the leaves. That's all you're trying to do. You don't want it dripping wet. All you're doing is get a good even coat on the actual leaves themselves. And what that's going to do is it's going to absorb through the leaves, go down into the stem, and take it into the root in a lot of cases and kill that root. So that's what your goal is to thoroughly wet those leaves and absorb it in. A couple things I'll caution you: if it's a windy day, don't spray. Any kind of drift that you get will go onto your beautiful trees, shrubs, perennials, flowers. This will kill anything. Any of these chemicals will kill anything that's not the lawn. So don't spray on a windy day, and be very careful if you're near a flower bed when you're spraying. Otherwise, like I said, you can drift onto those desirable plants and you'll do damage to those. So as long as you're only hitting the green part of a plant that you want to kill, in this case lawn weeds, you'll be okay. So that's the eco-friendly options. On to the more traditional kind of chemical options. So we have 2 to talk about here. This is weed out, regular weed out, based on 3 ingredients: 2,4-D, Mecaprop P, and dicamba. All 3 of them are going to do different things. They're going to target things like chickweed, thistle, clover, dandelions. The 3 different ingredients will kind of target 3 different things. The other one we're going to talk about is the Weed X bar. So this is a traditional bar that's been out for years and years. We have people come in the store, once a week saying, "Oh, I didn't think you could get those anymore," because they were so popular in the past. They are back on the market. They've been on the market for 5 years or so now, and very simple to use. If you haven't seen one of these before, it's basically like a giant bar of soap with 2 ropes attached to it. So it's about the length of this box, a giant bar of soap, 2 ropes attached to it. How do you use it is you wait till your lawn is nice and hot. You wait till everything is nice and warm, like I said, 2 or 3 in the afternoon, hot sunny day, and you're dragging this across your entire lawn. The primary ingredient in this is 2,4-D, so it does mainly control dandelions, but it'll do a good job on pretty much anything. You're dragging this over your entire lawn, and what it's doing is, if it's warm enough, it's going to stick to those weeds. So a good solution for a whole yard problem if you have a big lawn to do. And you don't want to spray anything. The nice thing about this, you can't overspray. You can't get it on a perennial, you can't get it on a tree or shrub, because it's already on the ground, right? So that's the Weed X bar. The other option, if you're doing a whole yard, would be something like this Weed Out Attach and Spray. You attach to your hose, covers about 5,000 square feet. And the way to apply this, again, I'm going to stress again, 2 to 3 in the afternoon, warm sunny day. You're going to drag your hose as far as you can to the far corner of your yard. You're going to attach your hose, turn on the water pressure to full, turn this on, and what you're doing is you're just doing even spray. Even spray across the entire lawn. You're not standing in one spot and watering in. You're moving as you go, and you drag your hose out so you don't paint yourself into a corner. You back up as you go, and you just cover your entire lawn. Because this can be a quite aggressive spray with the hose, just again, be mindful, flower beds, anything like that, be very careful about being close to those. But yeah, Weed Out regular Weed Out hose attach will work great for that situation. So yeah, whether you choose the chemical option or the manual option, I'm going to stress that you'd really want to have a healthy, thick lawn. If you can get out there, fertilize, cut, water regularly, have a lawn that's thick and healthy, you're going to fight a lot less weeds. And when you do fight weeds, there'll just be a few here or there that you can easily either pick out or spot spray, and rather than covering your whole lawn in herbicide. It's good to do it once, get that lawn started, but once you do that, get in there, fill that lawn, make it healthy, make it happy, and you'll be dealing with less weeds in general. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, hope you learned a little bit in this video. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. You can like, subscribe to our channel, and yeah, we'll see you on the next video.